Welcome to a new update, and the market is still correcting. We're going to discuss which levels we should be watching and what we can expect from a few of those altcoins to be taking place, but also what we can expect from Bitcoin at this point. Before we're going to continue, I would like to ask you to subscribe to this channel, like this YouTube update, and also do not forget to subscribe to our newsletter. The first issue went out yesterday, completely free for the first 3 months, so this entire week is free, and it got some serious alpha in there. We are very proud that we've launched this product, so definitely check it out once it's still free. Also, do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, where I'm posting daily content when it comes to the markets. So when we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin here, we can see that the price is still correcting. We've had a beautiful bounce back up, and we've actually had an intraday bounce yesterday, which reversed all the way back towards the support levels, and right now we are facing that support zone while showing actual weakness in the terms of not really accelerating at all upwards, in which we are testing support for another time at this stage. So what are we going to expect, and why is Bitcoin actually showing such a weakness? Well, yesterday we've had a very strange move from Bitcoin as we pushed all the way towards 59k, but what actually happened was the fact that the DXY was still showing strength. So the DXY was still running up, in which the conclusion was drawn that although Bitcoin made that move back up, it would make sense that Bitcoin was going to show weakness given the fact that the DXY was still running up. And as we know, when the DXY is very volatile or makes a very impulsive move anyway, it will have a reaction to Bitcoin. And in this case, the DXY, the dollar currency index, is showing strength, through which another move back up is showing a price action on Bitcoin, resulting into a downwards move for Bitcoin. And that's actually what happened right now. The DXY started to run further upwards, Bitcoin started to correct some more, through which we are back at support with Bitcoin, while the DXY is facing a resistance zone. So we're seeing a resistance area in this case, in which this entire block on the weekly time frame is something that we could be watching. Why is that important for us to watch? Well, we do see that the DXY has broken beneath this support level previously, right? So this entire level was lost, and you can make this is the level and this is the order block that we have. After that we accelerated south, so there's not really any test in between. And through that, breaking above this resistance zone, the next area to face is this entire block. So we do see this expansion upwards for the DXY, but we also know that the DXY can chop around for a long time. And chopping around is actually a period where Bitcoin will do well. Bitcoin is just not acting in a proper way when the DXY is accelerating quite fast. So in this case, we do see that the DXY is still accelerating quite fast, but it's also facing a resistance zone. So we might be seeing a short-term top in the coming weeks for the DXY here, while Bitcoin is going to face a support level here, or facing at least short-term support anywhere in this region. So let's just face the higher time frame level. The levels are derived here, in which I've stated that a few crucial levels should be holding in order to avoid any massive breakdown in the market structure. From that perspective, this entire block around 45k should be holding. When we're looking at the daily time frame, a crucial support is already being faced right now, which is the area around 53, which is the lower bound of this support zone, to 55. We also have a crucial resistance to break, which we rejected on, which is this entire 60k level. If that 60k level breaks, we can assume that we're going to retest the region around 65k. So in this case, the daily has made a bounce back up during the weekend. CME closed around 75.5 and went all the way back, while this bearish divergence and rising wedge played out, which we have also been covering on our YouTube channel. So what are the levels next to watch? Well, I think we have two regions where we're going to find a support or where we're going to bottom out. I think we still have a few weeks to go in which we're going to chop around and have a little more corrective moves before we're going to find ourselves a bottom in this entire case. Either we're going to bottom out in this region or we're going to bottom out around 48.5k. The fact that the momentum and the sentiment is switching heavily on social media is giving me a trigger or a key that I think that we're getting quite close to the bottom already, despite the fact that most of the altcoins are showing strength, or at least some, like eGold, Avalanche, the Metaverse coins, some are showing strength. But when you're looking at the weekly time frames for altcoins, they actually have been indicating that next year is going to be massive and that we're going to have a massive breakout overall. But in between, Bitcoin first has to bottom out to actually have that trigger taking place. It's either going to be this level here, in which we're currently facing that level, or we're going to have a bottom being there made around 50k. That is the two regions where I assume that you should be getting interested into the markets, and I think you're getting beautiful opportunities overall. So those two zones are the ones that I'm personally watching when it comes to the markets. We've also been covering it here, in which we have been taking cover of the levels nicely followed suit here. Looking at the lower time frames, which we have been covering in this case, is the resistance zone we did not break through, right? So this was a scenario for any long entries if you were looking for any. Right now we're dumping back towards the support and we're testing it for another time. The question is here, and that is the tricky part as you're zooming in, is are we going to take a step below the near recent low, sweep the lows? In that case, the scenario that I've described previously is that we could be creating a bullish divergence in this region. If we're creating such a bullish divergence, we might be getting a slight short-term relief rally, as that is usually what happens after a bullish divergence, and especially after a reclaim of the previous support zone. So that should be something that you should be watching if you're entering the markets anywhere soon. But once again, the markets have been dropping across approximately, what is it right now, 20%. So definitely points of interest are around the corner, or points of entry are around the corner if you want to get into Bitcoin in this lengthening / super cycle. Looking at Ethereum against Bitcoin, we are still chopping around. I've made a scenario in which we could be getting another test of this high and then reverse before we're having this actual breakout taking place. I have to make this one a proper line here actually. This is the proper line. So before we're going to have the breakout here, that might still be taking place. I'm not sure whether we're going to get as far as deep as I thought it would be, but at least I think we still are going to have anywhere a scenario like anything like we've been seeing previously with Bitcoin, another run up, correction, and then big breakout in Q1 of 2022, which is going to result into the massive alt season that we're most likely going to get into Q1 of 2022. Ethereum against USDT, we have been covering the scenario which is currently taking place here. I've made this level as one of the points that I would be looking at potential support, but I think retests of those levels are quite normal to be expecting at this point. What is the scenario that we're currently seeing when it comes to Ethereum? Any of those retests is currently what we're seeing here. So I would not be unhappy if we get another bounce lower, get support here, run back up, and then have a breakout. Obviously, this correction and the run back up will most likely be less than the time frame that I'm making with this quickly, but I cannot squeeze it in between. So I think anywhere in this region, which is also approximately around the Fibonacci levels of 0.5, 0.618, around this zone would make sense for any corrective move to end. So anywhere in this region is probably where you should be looking for any sweet spot long entries when it comes to Ethereum. At least that's what I'm doing. If you want to know what I'm doing in trading, definitely become a member of the platform that is in the description beneath. So overall, when it comes to the markets, I think we're just in for some normal corrective moves. We have been covering the crucial resistance zone. Markets have not been breaking through it. So right now we're into a choppy range. The support zone is quite clear. The resistance zone is also quite clear. Anywhere in between, I think it's no trade zone. I think you should be waiting for the higher time frames to flip any reversal or show any strength at all. And I think it's giving you actually massive opportunities right now into the markets. I hope you have enjoyed this update. I'll be back later today with another update. Don't forget to subscribe beneath, and I'll see you again soon.